Mario Kart Wii is such a bad game. Like, the skill ceiling is lower than Quantum's IQ, TWD98 is a chump, and it's just a waste of time. I mean, MKWii is getting old now, folks. I think it's time we maybe give a new Mario Kart game a turn in the spotlight. Well, these MKWii videos are so trash, but guess what? There's going to be another. In all seriousness though, Mario Kart Wii is an okay Mario Kart game, casually, professionally, and online. I don't play it hardcore, and Mario Kart DS is my favorite. However, today is a bit different. You see, DK Snowboard Cross legend Blake reached out to me in my YouTube comments requesting if I can make a video on a Mario Kart Wii world record. So from a guy that doesn't play Mario Kart Wii or follow the community, I'll try my best today. This is Solstice's Ghost Valley 2. Mario Kart Wii has some strange glitches, and Ghost Valley 2 falls victim to the craziness that is Mario Kart Wii's checkpoint system, where an insane pole clip, wall clip, and even driving backwards are used on lap 1. However, what about no glitches? Good old-fashioned driving. No room for error, no horizontal walls, and finishing a run how Nintendo intended it to be. And oh yes, chain wheelies. A bunch of chain wheelies. Ghost Valley 2, one of the most fabled tracks in all of Mario Kart Wii, famous for its tight driving and crazy shroom jump. Speedrunning this track is absolute hell, and in a game like this, with its skill ceiling, every frame counts. Dating back to 2011, 10 years ago, the no glitch category for Ghost Valley 2 had only 2 records set within the span of 2 days. August 10th and 12th by Japanese runner Sui Ryu, with the latter time being a 53.062. For back then, the run was alright. The most notable mistakes really are slow MT timing compared to today, some bad wheelies, and some fairly bad lines. One thing he does that might save time over the current record is doing an MT here and driving over a small gap in the track here. But comparing it to the current world record, it seems to maybe save a tenth or so. In 2012, Axel improved the record to a 53.058 and again to a 52.994. Let's take a look at the very first 52. Lap 1 starts out very strong with some tighter driving around corners and a good board MT, getting by with a 17.803 lap 1. Not sure what he was delaying for here on lap 2 though, but he gained a lot of it back with an amazing shroom jump. He continues on, but his board MT looked a little early. His lap 2 split of .628 was pretty good, but not the best, even for 2012. However, lap 3 was the best by far. Some very well timed, quick released mini turbos combined with the shroom and board MT was barely good enough for a 52 with just 0.006 of a second left to spare. And it wouldn't surprise me if that lap 3 was the best known split at the time. So now that 52 had been broken, was a 52.8 possible? Yes, but it would take 5 years until someone did. In 5 years, 1/10 of a second passes 1,577,847,600 times. This is just one of them. A year later, on July 10th, 2013, Axel would again improve his record to a 52.987. This run was just a small improvement with a big difference. After nearly identical lap 1, the big strategy change where releasing an early mini turbo around this turn seems to save a small amount of time. Axel also seems to have a slightly better line and a better time mini turbo here. Again, small saves, but it's Ghost Valley 2 on Mario Kart Wii. Lap 3, Axel seems to lose a bit of time from delayed MTs here, but his new shroom seems to land on the track ever so slightly faster, and on his board MT, he wheelies over the gap compared to before, and his final turn seems to be cut a little bit tighter, even though his lap 3 was slower than before. Only a cut of 0.007, but still a step in the right direction. In December, another Japanese player by the name of Sussy would bring the record down to a 52.984. Only by 0.003 of a second, but still better. This run had a slower lap 1, slower lap 2, but the lap 3 was really amazing and good enough for a new record. Take a look. A good entry, very well timed mini turbos, the shroom was great, and this MT here really stuck out to me. His board MT was good, but didn't go over the gap, and the last turn looked very tight. The lap 3 split of 17.552 was the fastest lap 3 performed in a record up to that point, and certainly better than Axel's .594 before. However, the next world record would also have a .552 lap 3, and the next world record was set just 3 days later. And the next world record was set by Axel. A 52.962, Axel will redeem himself with a better lap 2 and 3 compared to his old 987. After a slower lap 1, Axel would have a better lap 2 right away with some faster and tighter turns. His shroom looks tighter than before too. The board MT was the same, but the entry line was a little bit wide compared to before. However, Axel ended the lap with a 17.577 split, just barely ahead. Lap 3 was exactly the same as Sussy's, a .552 respectively. These are very cool to watch side by side. Take a look. So Axel had got the record back with a big cut. However, in August of 2014, Dutch runner Dane would get a 52.947. We're only just halfway to the .8, folks. Anyway, this was Dane's third and final world record in Mario Kart Wii. Compared to Axel, Dane had a better lap 1, even though the board MT looked slower. Lap 2, Dane seems to have a better line here than Axel, but his board MT seems slower, along with an ever so slightly looking wider final turn. Lap 3, Axel seemed to have a very better shroom than Dane, as well as Axel's final board MT looked faster compared to Dane. Axel had a better lap 3 split compared to Dane's, however Dane's faster lap 1 and 2 was enough to just pull away with a small improvement. Like Sussy, this next record was set by a player just 2 years later who preferred the Wii Remote and Nunchuck controller option, and the player to get the next record is currently ranked 3rd on non-shortcut, and he is Norwegian player Martin Fox, improving the record by just a hair of .003, getting it to a 52.943. Fox's run is different in many ways. Even before the race starts, he moves the Flame Runner at an angle by flicking the Wii Remote to the right, the same motion used to do tricks off ramps and wheelies. And compared to Dane, his turn is a lot more noticeable. This helps right away since he already has a more optimal line to go into turn 1. Fox seemed to have a tighter turn here, but Dane looked to have a tighter turn after the shroom. Fox and Dane both had similar driving up to lap 2, with Fox ahead by .020, and lap 2 both had similar driving as well, but Dane had a much better board MT than Fox, looking to have an ever so slightly tighter last turn, but it was Dane who had a better lap 2. Lap 3, Fox and Dane seemed to start off the same, but after the shroom, Fox seemed to have a couple more quicker MTs, but his board MT was worse than Dane's. However, Fox's final turn was probably the tightest I've seen so far. Again, both had their ups and downs, but Fox would beat Dane, but just barely. We moved to May 2017, where an American player by the name of Sean got another slight improvement of .006, a new record of 52.937. Sean seems to have a better technical style compared to Fox's fast driving. His turns and board MTs are some of the best, and his shrooms as well are some of the best I've seen up to this point too. However, there is one line Sean seems to be doing slower than the rest, and it's the turn before the board MT. I'm not sure if Sean was trying to set up a better angle for the board MT, but this is the one place where he seems to lose time. This hurt him on lap 1 and 3, being slower than Fox, but his lap 2 was better than Fox's lackluster lap 2. Sean would improve the record again 3 days later to a 52.918. This run had a pretty bad lap 1, his shroom looked early, and pretty loose driving for the rest. His lap 1 split was a .822. Not very impressive compared to previous records. However, Sean did have a great lap 2, and the fastest lap 3 ever driven in a world record up to that point. A very beautiful lap, as Sean seems to have better lines in driving too. However, he noted that the lap 1 was bad as well. So that would be it. We've seen Axel, who found luck many times, Fox and Dane, who had one record each, and Sean, who set a couple nice records too. However, this next player is probably Ghost Valley 2's greatest track specialist. Of course, I'm talking about American player Blaze. In December 2017, Blaze cut .005 from Sean. Compared to the rest, Blaze seems like a slower driver, but it's his mini turbo timing that really stands out to me. I mean, just look at his board MT on lap 3. Even his lines are great too. Probably the best technical driver so far, even better than Sean. His lap 1 split was a 17.777. Could this be a sign of good luck to come? Well, I would have to say yes, because over the next 2.5 years, Blaze would improve his skills on Ghost Valley 2 and become a track specialist. And here we are in May 2020, Blaze is in full control of the record at 52.781, and he would have that record until February 20th, 2021, because somebody put a stop to this madness. After years of grinding tooth and nail, Ghost Valley 2 has come to a very optimized point. For a flat track with no off-road, this is probably one of the most impressive times in the game. Not only to mention, it's the shortest non-shortcut time in the game. Kart Wii, a game where the skill ceiling can turn a lot of people off, but for those who decide to play, non-shortcut in particular, the challenge is immense. However, someone put a stop to Blaze, and he is no stranger to beating track specialists. Someone got 52.775, and that someone was J-Ranked Hale, Sosus. Yes, the same person who ended Josh's N64 Mario Raceway legacy got an insane Ghost Valley 2 run. He also played against Blaze's Ghost, so we can see where both gain and lose time compared to each other, and I really think it does speak for itself. And that's it. Sosa said he could improve upon this, and the majority of the run was pretty bad according to him, except lap 3, which ended in a 17.500 split, and both do seem to gain and lose time compared to each other, but in the end, Sosa's clutched it out. It was also a long grind too. I can't do justice myself, but Enme does a great job of telling the story in his record recap video of February 2021.
Sosa's had a wonderful story written describing his journey, with answering my inquiries throughout his response. And it goes something like this. I received a phone call from someone who I didn't know, who told me to play a track that I've never played, who said to go for a world record that I've never touched, and beat someone I didn't know. He told me about a guy named Blaze that lives in the United States who has the world record. Because my desperation comes from not having enough world records, I found out where this track was underneath the shell cup. I ended up finding work on a track called SNES Ghost Valley 2. A guy named John Pedersen hired me on November 18th and laid me off on February 20th. I started working on this project for the next 3 months. During my employment, I made a few breakthroughs that will forever go down in the Ghost Valley Hall of Fame. 2 months into working as a vice executive, I set the fastest lap known to mankind, hitting the first 17.6 on lap 1. I told John Pedersen about this lap, and he told me that if you get the world record soon, I will hire you for construction work on GCM Mario Circuit. With this incentive in mind, I decided to do what any guy who's headed to a track he's never played at 11 at night and grind for the world record. I decided to try something new and play without audio because John told me there are no chain wheelies on this construction site. Therefore, I could wear headphones and jam out to The Fight for Freedom by Man of War. I believe a young man who also knew John said that N64 Sherbet Land was very taxing and that for me to go to a track as short as SNES Ghost Valley 2, I needed to walk a few miles, take a bus, and walk some more to the Shell Cup. During my 5-hour trip, my clothes got stained and my hair became a mop. I felt like I was ready to handle anything now. On February 20th, I made sure there was a young man there, and I was correct. I ended up getting to the young man in 52 seconds, 775 milliseconds. I took 3 shortcuts to get to him, but the first 2 shortcuts weren't as great since they sent me out wider. However, the 3rd shortcut made me go very tight, and I was able to take advantage of the shortcut to get to him in time.
And now, Sosa's got the fast lap record there as well. So that's it, a Mario Kart Wii video from an MKDS player who knows little knowledge of MKWii tech. It was pretty fun breaking down records from a surface level point of view, and I gotta thank Blake for reaching out to me for doing this. Sosis and the MKWii community are a nice group of people, even though they are, well, a little bit odd. But hey, I thought I'd fit in too. Anyways, congratulations to Sosis on an amazing record. Good luck in the future, my dude. And who knows who's gonna get the next record on Ghost Valley 2? It could be me, but it could be you. Thanks for watching.